Hi there, Aquarians. This is Carrie Mubarak. I am reaching out to you from wooingnature.life. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I am having a fantastic day, or at least I'm trying to have one. Just reaching out to you right now. This is after the eclipse, after the Mercury retrograde period. Just want to kind of get our bearings straight, see where we are, see where we're going. Just an update on what's happening in the world and what's happening in your world in specific. Trying to think if there's anything. There is something coming up for you all. Actually, there's a full moon on the 15th of June. It is in the sign of Aquarius, so you can expect that you may be feeling or may be sensing things a little more intensely during that time period, or you may be feeling like you understand things a little differently than everybody else. You know, Aquarians, you guys are very much tuned in to what's going on in the universe at all times. In fact, you are the ones that we look to when things are changing, and so that we don't feel like we're falling off our rockers or whatever. So we really appreciate your energy and appreciate what you give to to humanity, and what you contribute in terms of your own zodiological principles and what ties into that. So I'm trying to remember. I know that it's in the I want to think it's in the 22nd degree of Aquarius, or at least, you know, for part of that time, or for the, you know, the zenith of that time. I think it's at its zenith. I don't know what they call that, but at any rate, I think we're looking at the 22nd degree of Aquarius. If I remember correctly, that energy speaks to I'm trying to remember it right offhand. I know I've written it down, but let me think for a little while. It may come back to me right now. I got the train distracting me too in the background. But while we're talking, I'm just pulling a few cards just to kind of get us set up here. I'm still trying to think about what the moon is all about during that time. I think it has to do with duty versus what it is that you really feel like you want to do. Like looking at whether or not what you're doing is compromising, or whether you're just kind of giving in and giving up. So there's this play between what you feel obligated to do, and then what you really are desiring for yourself. And so that time period, with the full moon coming in around the 15th or on the 15th, a couple of days before, a couple of days after, sometimes the energy lingers a little bit more depending on the strength and the kind of effect that it has on us. Anyway, that's kind of the focus. It's a time. It's also a time when you feel it within yourself to kind of show your talent, show what it is that you're working with, but you got to be clear about what you're working with, or whether you're just working with somebody else's plan. Okay, does that make sense? All right, so so keep that in mind. I will be putting some other videos out about the full moon around that time. So if you want to tune back in to find out some more specifics, or some other specifics around the full moon in August, then definitely check back in, or you can hit me up either way. All right, so coming in off the bat, like I said, I started doing a few cards, but coming in right off the bat, I had two to come open for you all, or two to open the door for you all. One is the Five of Pentacles. The Five of Pentacles is about self-worth, understanding what you value, or what is valuable to you, accompanied by the Ace of Wands in reverse. So it seems like you guys are trying to really find your passion. That goes back to what I was saying about the full moon. You know, it's like finding what your passion is and what it is that you really are interested in. Because it seems like what's going on is whatever it is that you're doing, Aquarius, you're not really passionate about it. And if you're not really passionate about it, you're not going to be feeling like it's worth it. And you're not going to be feeling like what you're doing is worth it. Okay? So we're looking at issues of what you're doing and your passions, and whether or not you're feeling fulfilled in that. The next card up is the Lovers. Now, the Lovers card usually talks about love and it talks about romance. We'll see if it's really about that, but I'm really thinking and leaning to more toward it. It's about this love, the love of what you do, and things coming together around that. So it seems like this is the focus right now for you. What is it that you love? What is it that moves you? What is it that that makes you feel like you have the balance that you need, or that comfort level that you need? Because everything is about balance. Like the Lovers sometimes is about lovers, like two different people or whatever, but sometimes this can be about balancing the male and female side of yourself, or balancing both sides of yourself. And when both sides of yourself are feeling fulfilled and feel balanced, then everything feels good. But like I'm saying, you're feeling a lot less passion right now. You're not finding it, or you're not seeing it. Okay, so the next card up is the Six of Cups. This is when you're being offered something you really like and you really enjoy. It's like another person is coming and saying, here, this is something that you might be interested in. This is maybe something that you like. And then we've got the Two of Swords here about decisions. So looks like there's some decisions that you're making, or you are making some decisions about that. I keep feeling like this is drawing back to what I was saying about the moon, and knowing what you're interested in, knowing whether or not what you're doing is really what you want to do, or whether it's some kind of compromise that you are making, Aquarians, for someone else, or out of an obligation or a sense of obligation to something else or for somebody else. Or it could just be feeling obligated in general, because sometimes what we do is we feel like we have to do the thing that's obligatory all the time, and that's not necessarily the case. Okay, so I am seeing some offers coming through. I am seeing some things that are being presented to you as like, yeah, you might want to take this. You might want to look at this. You might want to consider this. Don't leave that out. Don't do that. I do see that there's some decisions that need to be made, though, but I'm feeling like those decisions more or less have to do with, like, whether or not you're doing what it is that you need to do. Whether or not what you're doing makes you feel passionate or not, or whether you feel passionate about it. I mean, like, even with the things that we feel passionate about, you're not going to feel that way forever, because at a certain point it's going to become work for you, and that's okay. But like for right now, you need to be feeling passionate, okay? And if you're not feeling passionate about it, it's not a good start. It's just like marrying somebody that you're not in love with at all. You're not starting off on a good foot. Or maybe, I don't know. I don't want to be culturally exclusive. Some people don't marry for love, but I'm just saying. That's the example I'm giving you. So Seven of Wands, we have that in reverse. You feel like you can't handle what's going on. You're not feeling like you're handling things well. You don't feel like you can tackle it. You may be feeling overwhelmed, or you may feel like, okay, the things that are coming towards you, you're not. But again, these are wands, and we're talking about things that you're passionate about. So, like, be mindful, be clear, be real clear about what's coming towards you and what you don't want to do. Like, what you're feeling like, oh, I can't do this, can't handle that. You could be putting off, you could be throwing off the thing that you really feel that will really fulfill you. That's what I'm saying. Sort of like, you're bogging yourself down with some obligations, and then when the thing that you really want to do comes along, you're like, well, I don't really have time for that because I have all these things on my plate. Nah, those are called excuses. Just saying. So, Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is here. Knight of Wands, again, more wands. More wands, more wands, more wands. You need to get focused on something that you feel good about, or that moves you. You just do. Alright, and I'm getting the Six of Wands in reverse, which is normally about victory, but when it's in reverse, you're not feeling very victorious. You're not feeling like, you're not feeling accomplished. You're not feeling accomplished, Aquarians. And you're not feeling accomplished because, yeah, you're feeling over-obligated with things that really aren't your job. That's it. I'm really feeling that really strongly. And then with this moon and Aquarius coming in saying the same thing, I think you guys really owe it to yourselves to pay attention to that, especially if you're feeling unhappy, and especially if you're feeling less than satisfied, because that's what this is about. It's about the people that are not feeling satisfied. So I am getting the Ace of Pentacles, which means your money seems to be all right. You're okay with that. That's going well. But it doesn't matter if you don't feel like you can, you know, it doesn't matter if you're feeling like what you're doing doesn't matter to you. So yeah, it may be lucrative. It may be lucrative, but is it lucrative in your heart? Does it move you in your heart? So we got the Fool. We got you starting over again. We got you starting fresh. We got you starting out with a little bit of a reckless abandon, which I know you guys are not opposed to doing a little reckless abandonment. Y'all are not opposed to that, Aquarians. But I just think you haven't done it in a long time, and you've kind of forgotten what that feels like. You've forgotten what it feels like to roll out like this. But you know what? Aquarians are, they're A-okay with that. I don't know what, you know, whatever has happened over time, whatever the situation has been. It could be family obligations. It could be, you know, like you telling yourself, oh, I need to do this because I got to be a responsible person now. I don't know, maybe some of you are getting older and you're starting to feel like, oh, well, I can't do this reckless abandon thing because I'm not, you know, I'm not young anymore. I'm not, you know, I got to be responsible or something like that. But I think that you need to feel that again. I think you need to get into that space, Aquarians. I think that's the thing you're missing. I think that's what's missing. I think that's the love that you miss. That's the love you need. You know? It happens. Love isn't always about, you know, getting in the sack. Sometimes love is like loving yourself and doing the things that you love that move you on the inside. Because, like, how can you draw the love to yourself that you may even want if you don't feel that love of yourself and of life on the inside? You want to bring something to the table in a relationship. You don't want to, like, come empty-handed. And we're not talking about money, okay? We're talking about energy. All right, so the Eight of Cups says to go in and do that work. Go in and pay attention to that work. Go in and figure that stuff out. Full moon, August 15th. That's your season. That's your time. That's your time. That's your time. It's your time to think about these things. All right. So use that full moon energy to illuminate, you know, what's going on. All right. So you might want to do some prayer work, or you might want to do some energy work leading up to the full moon. Set your intentions around this work. Right before that moon comes in. You can set intentions on a full moon. You don't have to always set intentions on the new moon. Okay? Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles means harvest time. That's about harvesting. That's about bringing in the sheaves, so to speak. Honoring the part of yourself that you need to honor. Blending the opposites within yourself. Seeing what the benefits are. Seeing what is the harvest? What's the harvest of what you're doing? Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Like, to pay attention to your own harvest. Like, what you have created that then becomes abundant for you. That's what you need to be focused on. That's what's going to drive you. That's what's going to move you. That's what's going to make you happy. Okay? That's going to lead you to some of the ideas around what makes you feel passionate about a certain thing. Because, like, you know, the universe, some things in the universe may seem tricky, but some things are pretty straightforward. And it's like this, like, if you plant a seed, something, and it grows like crazy, yeah, that's a gift. That's a gift. And there's also some level of a high level of energy associated with that, because if you can do something and it manifests really quickly, like you call something and boom, it just happens, or you say, hey, you should do this, and then somebody does it and boom, it's like blows up and everything, and you have that in you, you have that ability in you, then that's going to give you an idea. So, like, if you're feeling like, well, I'm in this situation, but I don't know what I'm passionate about, start to pay attention to the things that you drop in the ground that just grow out of nowhere, and you're like, wow, I didn't even know it was that deep. Okay? We're not trying to make this hard. Life doesn't have to be hard and difficult. It doesn't have to feel tricky and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't. It can just be real straightforward if you just follow the signs. And that's what this is about. It's about following the signs. It's about paying attention to yourself, the signs within yourself, not outside of yourself, within yourself. Okay? So if you're not feeling particularly successful right here, remember, you got to do something adventurous. You got to break out a little bit. Aquarius, you can't not be breaking out. Come on. Y'all know who y'all are. You can't just be like sitting at home doing the routine thing. I kind of feel like that's what's going on with you all. You can't be doing that. I'm not saying like abandon everybody and just blow the camp. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying to you is that you have to really make sure that you're keeping yourself in balance, or else you're not going to be good to anybody anyway. Even like the people that you're trying to be super obligated to, for, and about. You're not going to be any good to them at all, because they're going to know. They're going to feel this. They're going to feel you feeling broke up. Especially if they love you. Right? The people that really love you, they know when something isn't right with you. So they may not know what it is, but they know it. And it affects you. It can affect your love life. And I mean the love life you have for yourself, and it can affect your love life outside of yourself too. So you want to pay attention to that. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, so I've got the Eight of Wands here, which means this is like energy going out. Remember I said to set your intentions around the full moon? That means put your things down, what it is that you want to deal with. You know, and this is internally, not things you want, like lucrative. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the things that your soul needs in order to be fulfilled. And like I said, if you don't know what that is, then that would be the time to ask. If you're not clear about that, that would be the time to ask. But again, pay attention to what you're doing that then becomes very lucrative. This is a highly spiritual time for you right now. This thing, all of this that's happening right here on this table that I'm reading to you, it's really a spiritual thing. It is not really, it seems like it's physical, like, because we're talking about duty and responsibility and stuff like that, but it really is a higher principle around that the spirit realm is really trying to get you to see, that there's something very important. There's a very important spiritual lesson that is tied to understanding the balance between duty and responsibility and commitment and one's own inner passions and what one is called to do and what God has given you the gift to do. There has to be a balance between those things in the physical world. Okay? I hope that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, ask me some questions. So we've got the King of Swords. So it's asking you to, King of Swords is about, it's about judgment. It's associated with judgment. It's like looking at things, looking at the pros and cons of a situation and then making a decision about it. So it seems like that's the space that you either are in now or that you need to be in relationship to this. So you just need to look at it objectively, okay? Like don't wrap your emotions up in your obligations, because a lot of times when we have those, when we are dealing with a lot of obligations, it's because of how we feel emotionally attached to the situation. This is saying you've got to look at it more objectively than that to be able to really do the right thing. Because you think you're doing the right thing, Aquarians. You do. You really think you're doing the right thing. And I'm not going to say you're doing the wrong thing, because you're not. Like, you're being really, really, like, supportive and responsible and all of that other kind of stuff. But what you're not doing is you're not being right by yourself. You're doing right for other people, but you're not doing right for yourself. And when you don't do right for yourself, then eventually you're not going to be able to do right for the other people either. You're going to fail at that, and then they'll blame you for it. You'll be like, I did all of this stuff for you and you blame me for it. Yeah, they'll end up blaming you for it. Or they'll tell you something like, but all of that's by divine order anyway, because really what they're trying to do is make you stop doing whatever it is that you're doing that doesn't fulfill yourself. So everything is a part of the divine order. The messages all work toward everyone fulfilling their highest self. Everything is working toward that end in your life, believe it or not. Even the bad shit, even the stuff that feels like you're not helping me. Yes, they are. They're helping you in one way or the other. And ultimately, it's about reaching your highest point, your highest star within yourself. And that's definitely a spiritual thing. So are there any additional things that we need? Oh, we got stuff popping out everywhere. So I'm seeing lots of opportunities coming towards you, opportunities for love, opportunities for things that, it's like all these different things that you can put your hands on that then become something really super duper for you. You'll have that coming to you. And then there's a message coming through about love to you. So if any of these obligations have something to do with a relationship or, or tied into a relationship, that person that you're dealing with may have the answer for you or may be coming to you with a message around that will help you resolve that. So even though you may be feeling an obligation toward a particular person, it seems like to me that person may be bringing you a message about this and about how you can tap into your inner sanctum of love, like the thing that feeds you and fuels you and that makes you happy, and that brings you a lot of joy and a lot of excitement. Still getting cards. Work at it. Work is in order. There's some work that has to still be done around this. You're trying to perfect it, and this is a part of that perfecting. Anything else for Aquarians, please? At this time, any other information for Aquarians, please? Any other information for Aquarians? Things are coming together now. I'm so happy for you. Things are coming together, and I think it's as a result of the information that's coming out of this reading, to be honest with you. Things are coming together for you. And be around some people. Spend some time around some people. Spend some time with old friends, people who know you well, people who know or may be able to share with you some of your passions. It's funny when you go back and you visit for old friends or people you haven't seen in a long time, and they start telling you and reminiscing about things that happened and the things that you did and how you were when you were a kid or how you were when you were a teenager, and it really reminds you that you really haven't lost any of that. You haven't lost any of it. You're still the same person. You've just had different experiences, and those experiences have shaped you. But that passionate heart of the Aquarians that I know, Aquarians, it doesn't go away. It doesn't die. You'll be 106 years old, and you'll still be doing your Aquarius thing. You can't help it. Okay? So, yeah, spend some time with some people, particularly people that know you well, like back in the day. Yeah, like they knew you before you knew yourself and that kind of stuff, because they can give you some insight and they can share with you some things about yourself that you may have forgotten. Okay? Alright, so that's your reading, Aquarius. If you want to get a little deeper, if there's something else that resonated with you or a piece that resonated with you that you want to dig in a little further and find out what's going on around that, just reach out to me. I'm at Kerri, Kerri, at wooingnature.life. You can also tune back into this channel probably around the 15th, when I'll be sharing some deeper information about the full moon, going into a little depth astrologically about the full moon, and I'll be happy to share that information with you then. Until then, I want you to have a great day and a wonderful life.